Now to discuss is the host of the Strat podcast, retired Marine Colonel, a Reserve Colonel, Hal Kemper. Colonel, thank you for being here. The role that the U.S. is playing is a pretty significant one in trying to get this deal off the ground. I want to play something for you that President Trump had to say about the talks.
So when it comes to ceding land to Russia, is that still on the table or has that changed?
Well, they're talking about going land both ways and trying to clean up a border. You know, you can't go through the middle of a house. You can't go through the middle of a highway. So they're trying to work something. It's a complicated process.
Yeah, complicated process, the president is saying there. Ukraine is also saying that it's not going to concede any sovereign territory as part of this deal. Do you think the president is taking the red line that Ukraine seems to be putting down really seriously?
Well, Alicia, he is kind of hitting a red line issue that the Ukrainians have brought up, and the Europeans have brought it up several times, which is that is sovereign Ukrainian territory. And the proposal right now, the 28 points, has basically Ukraine giving up sovereign territory that Russia has not conquered. Ukraine has come back and said they're not planning on acceding to that in any way, shape, or form. That's going to be part of the discussion. Where the exact line would be isn't quite clear, but it might go back to that ceasefire thought that they just basically freeze the line where it is right now. Russia's not making a lot of progress on the ground. They've got a couple of cities that they're towns that they're pushing through, and the Ukrainian line is holding very strong. And so even though there's this Kremlin talking point that they're ultimately going to win and they're moving fast in Donetsk, nothing on the ground is happening like that.
I want to point out, obviously, last week Rubio met with Ukrainian officials, trying to get this deal to be malleable and molded into something that could get across the finish line. He previously told European officials that Trump would negotiate long-term guarantees protecting the city of Kyiv, but now saying that the U.S. wants to see a peace deal before agreeing to anything. Do you think Ukraine would agree to any kind of deal without these securities?
Well, Ukraine is a bit hesitant. You know, if you want to go back to the end of the Cold War, you know, there was an agreement signed where Ukraine gave up all of its nuclear missiles from the Soviet Union back to Russia. Yeah. And the U.S., Britain, and other countries said, don't worry, we got you if anything goes wrong. 2014, Russia goes in there, takes Crimea and part of the Donbass, and those European countries in the U.S. weren't there. They remember that. That was just paper. So when they're looking at security guarantees, they want something on the ground. They want a trigger force, if you will, but they're also hesitant to give up this iron belt, this area in Donetsk Oblast that the Russians have never been able to get through. It is a very hardened defensive zone. It's been reinforced, and that would be one of the things on the 28 points they would have to give up. They don't want to give that up. They want to hold that. That's key terrain. It's also reinforced, and it helps prevent whatever Russia might do in the future.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.